The big news for 2022 is that my family paid off our house. It has been a long time coming. Let's talk about where we started, what we did throughout the entire process, and what the heck we are going to do now. If you are on a debt-free journey or a journey to do a huge financial goal like paying off your house, hook me up with a thumbs up. It changes color and sometimes gives you confetti. That may be an end of the year thing, but regardless, give it a try, see what happens. Lucky for us, we bought our house in 2014. We put the offer in 2013, closed early of 2014, back before, way before the housing market went completely bananas. That was fantastic because relative to home prices today, it was fairly inexpensive. And even though I do live in a pretty large house, I live in a place of the country of the United States that a lot of people don't want to live. So if you want to save money on your housing and living expenses, you just sometimes have to move somewhere else. I do live in a small town in the middle of nowhere in a state that most people don't even know if it's real or not and confuse with other states like Iowa or Ohio. But we purchased the house. We were able to refinance the house at a very low interest rate, like 3%. Back in 2017. So we were paying very, very low interest. And every penny we made that was extra, we dumped on the house. Some months we were only able to put as little as $200 extra on the mortgage. Some months it was several $1,000s extra on the mortgage. It did end up taking 8 years to do this. We finished it earlier than our original goal, which was to do it when Haley went off to college, and that has not happened yet, so we were able to finish it a little early. Here are all of the side hustles we did to get extra money to pay off the house. I donated plasma for about a year. If you look at my arms, you can kind of see the scars from the huge needle they use to donate plasma. It's a big honking needle. I babysat kids in my home. I did it wasn't a home daycare. I would only do 1 or 2 kids at a time, but I did that for like 6 years. I cleaned apartments when people would move out and they would need like a cleaning move out white glove fee. I would do a full deep clean for about $150. Sometimes those took a really, really long time. I don't know that I charged enough for some of those because some of them were upwards of 10 hours because they were so dirty. After we had lived in the house for about a year or so, my husband presented to me this online teaching job opportunity that I applied for and was hired for. I ended up teaching online for university, like a college success class for 5 years. That was a huge, huge help to our budget. It was very consistent work and it was a huge help. I did that while also babysitting. So those together were able to provide several $1,000s a month towards paying off our house. Something that's really important to note is that with this extra money that we were bringing in, we didn't increase our lifestyle at all. We saved all of it to go towards the mortgage. And if you didn't want to do it that way, other financial goals. We didn't go out to eat more. We didn't buy more clothes. We didn't buy fancy cars. We didn't buy new furniture. We lived our lives in the same way so we could achieve this huge goal. When my kids played sports, my kids played some expensive sports. Mountain bike is expensive. Gymnastics is expensive. Travel club volleyball is expensive. We did as many fundraisers as we could possibly do. As many as we could get our grubby little hands on, we participated in so we could offset the cost of those sports for our kids. We didn't travel very much. I've never taken my kids to Disney. The travel that we did participate in was mostly to go visit family. We've done a lot of camping. And if you go back over my videos and you see me and Dave went to Mexico, we went to the Dominican Republic. I did all of those videos on a tight budget, and I showed you how, like exactly what I paid for every little dime of those trips. They were like a year in the planning process to be able to do those trips for very inexpensive. And then of course in 2020, when YouTube started doing well, we took a huge chunk, basically all the money that I pay myself from YouTube went towards the house. That was probably the main reason we were able to finish early. I think we would have still finished right before Haley went to college, but we were able to finish it about a year and a half early because of YouTube. Huge thanks to my viewers for watching and supporting me as I share all my shenanigans online. We paid off the house this summer. It's been several months, and so now I want to talk to you about what has transitioned, what has changed since that has happened. What is amazing about trying to hit these huge financial goals, whatever it might be, buying a car, paying off a house, reaching a percentage of your income into a retirement account or something like that, is that eventually you hit your goal. The money changes a little bit. Being frugal is not about being cheap. Being frugal is not about not making very much money. It's about how you look at your money, the value of the item that you use your money on. Are you being financially smart? Are you thinking long-term with your money? I'm a huge fan of the FIRE movement, the Financial Independence Retire Early, for several reasons. I don't know that I'm gonna do it, but I like it. While they do push saving aggressively early on, which I'm all for, they also push simple living. If you keep your expenses really, really low, it gives you the freedom to retire early, to do these other goals, which I think is fabulous, because I know a lot of people that don't want to be a slave to a 9-to-5 job because of their car payment or their house payment or where they live or high taxes or whatever it is. You don't want to feel trapped in your job because you've created this lifestyle that is unsustainable. Once we finished this huge goal that we spent 8 years working on, 8 years, it is a difficult mental switch to flip into something else. Here are a few things that we are doing now. We increase our savings, so retirement potentially could happen earlier. Number 2 is we give more than we have ever given before. It is glorious to let the dog in. Remember how I said we did fundraisers for my kids' sports? Now I'm the person donating to the fundraisers. I'm not the one asking for the donations. I'm the one giving for the donations for all my kids' sports. It is so fun to help my kids' friends when they come to do a fundraiser at my house, a Jamba gift card, some expensive jerky for their football team, Krispy Kreme donuts, whatever those darn kids ask for, I give it to them. I can donate to the kids' schools. I donate to our community. We do Christmas stuff for neighbors. We are able to up our kids' college savings dramatically. I have 4 kids. College is not getting any cheaper. And so it's been fantastic to not have to stress about that future expense. My husband and I go out to eat more than we used to. So before, we would go out for our birthdays and for an anniversary. So like 3 times a year. And now we probably go out twice a month. So not a huge change. Dave doesn't really love to go out to eat that much. It's not something we do often unless we know that we are going to have a great experience. I'll give you an example. My family just went to San Antonio for a trip. Again, on a budget, cheap Airbnb, plane tickets were free, using credit card points, so it wasn't super expensive, but I did take my entire family to Papado, which I used to work there a long time ago. My kids were like, I didn't know food could taste this good. We don't have restaurants like that where we are, so it's not super appealing to go out to eat where I live, but if we're in a city with a really great restaurant, I do want my kids to have that experience sometimes. It doesn't happen often, but when I'm there, I try not to stress the bill and just enjoy the experience. The last thing I've been doing is trying to spend money on creating experiences and memories with people, doing stuff. I have not bought any new furniture in my house. I've thought about it, but I haven't done it. I thought about buying a hot tub for my backyard. Didn't do that either. But what I have done is do things with the people that I love so we can have good memories to look back on. The best part about paying off the house is the peace of mind that it brings. I don't have to worry if my husband loses his job or if YouTube goes away tomorrow. Our basic expenses are very, very low. So there's very little stress that comes with our day-to-day life from a financial aspect, which was the goal in the first place. It's why we started the goal in 2014, 8 years ago. It took us 8 years to get here. Some days I never ever thought it would get here, but now that I am at the top of the mountain looking back over the way that we've come, I do not regret one step. Thanks for joining me in today's video. I hope you're doing well in your financial goals. Let me know down below what you are working on and how close you are to the finish line.